Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I am Matt Watson, your host. It is good to have you in. Looking at a couple of things going on. KHTS, your hometown station, has just reported a SIG alert in the Newhall Pass. That is kind of a bummer. So if you're getting ready for work, if you're heading to your essential industry, make sure that you leave early. And if it's too late for that warning already and you didn't get a chance to leave early, slow down, take it easy. It's raining a little bit out there. It's a little slick on the highways. You know, I know we all want to get to work on time. We're all stressed out about being late, but you know, if you slide into that guy in front of you, how late is that going to make you? So just take it easy. If you have to be a few minutes late, you have to be a few minutes late, but let's get you there. Again, KHTS reporting a SIG alert in the Newhall Pass. Some big rig doing something that it should not have been doing. So take it easy. Try to find a way around. Again, if you need to put on a hat and get out the door a little bit earlier, do that. Excuse me. This special edition of Eye on the Valley Homeschooling is called Homeschooling Answers. It is brought to you by KHTS in collaboration with SCVi and iLead Charter Schools. We come to you each day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., providing you with support and updates on your distance learning journey. We are also here continually curating and adding new resources to our website. Have you been on over to our website? Take a look. Homeschoolinganswers.com. As you're bouncing around today, take a look at homeschoolinganswers.com. See what we've got there. We've got all different kinds of resources for your kids. They are sorted by grade level. They're also sorted by subject area. We've got parent resources for you, different webinars that we've been posting. There's a lot of fun and engaging stuff to engage, captivate your kids, and keep the learning happening in some deep and powerful ways. We've also, again, like I said, we've got some resources for you, so go ahead and check it out and see what we've got. And if you're looking for something in specific, you know, you're taking a look and you don't find what you need, shoot us an email at homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org and let us know what it is that you're looking for. And if you don't know what you're looking for, let us know what you're struggling with. And we'll get back to you and hopefully get some of those resources posted, because if you're looking for it and can't find it, chances are there's another couple dozen people that need it, and so we want to get it up there for all of you. It is Monday. How was your weekend? Did you have a great weekend? Did you get caught up on that thing? Did you binge watch that one show? Or did you clean up around the house like I did? Maybe Zoom with family a little bit? What, me? How did I spend my weekend? Well, that's a no-brainer. I spent it celebrating, of course. You know me, I love to celebrate, but it wasn't a holiday. It was that huge anniversary that we were all celebrating. You celebrated too, right? You know, in case you've been living under a rock, I'm referring to the royal anniversary. That's right, the 250th anniversary of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. Yeah, see, I knew you forgot about it. That's right, on May 16th, 1770, so exactly 250 years ago this past Saturday, the two were married in hopes that France could strengthen its alliance with its longtime enemy, Austria. So, yeah, I, like most people, I'm sure, spent the weekend celebrating the happy couple. I'm sure their marriage, like their reign over the French peasants, was a huge success. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I'll find out eventually as I continue through my This Day in History calendar, and I'll keep y'all posted how it went for old Louis and Marie Antoinette there. But like I said, they seem to be great folks. I'm sure everything went just fine. But enough about the past. We are moving forward. In fact, a couple of indications that we continue to move forward. As I mentioned, gas prices continue to climb. They're now well up over $2.50. I actually paid about $2.70 on my way in this morning to fill up the tank, and then was super excited as I pulled into the parking lot. I got a text message from my optometrist that said, as of today, we are open. And so I told Shane, hold the show, buddy. I got to call my optometrist. I've now got appointments for me and my son. Go back in, get our glasses so that I don't have to make the font quite so big on this here computer. So we are moving forward, and we've got an amazing week for you. We've got doctors and lawyers and educators and political leaders all coming in with their expertise to inform and to guide us all. That's all coming up later on this week. And today, we've got, well, gosh, a great sampling of all of those things. We've got SCVi Graduate, a graduate from the class of 2015. Paige Guarino is actually on the line, waiting for me to shut up and move on. She'll be sharing some of the great things that she's been up to since she's graduated. We've got our show's official licensed marriage and family therapist, Kristina de Bree. She'll be joining us. And later on, in hour number 2, we'll have Norb Moniz from A Royal Suite Furnishings. And from the COC Foundation, we will have Brian Koegle and James Kneblik. So let's go ahead and get it started. My first guest today, as I said, is Paige Guarino. Paige currently attends law school at Pace University. She attended SCVi from 2009 to 2015. While there, she helped found the Student Ambassador Program. She served on the school board as the student representative, and as a learner, was a huge part of the establishment of our unique school culture. Paige, welcome into the show. Good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Of course, it's so good to talk to you. I'm looking forward to getting caught back up. I want to, before we move into where you're at now, I want to look back at a little bit at your experience at SCVi, something that I am very familiar with, as you know, but our listeners might not be. So let's take a look back. You were saying, hey, gosh, it's been 5 years already since you graduated, but let's take a look. What grade were you in when you first moved to SCVi, Paige?
I was in the 7th grade, so I ended up attending from 7th grade all the way through graduation.
Okay, so 7th through 12th grade. And what prompted the move from, I'm assuming, your traditional public school to SCVi? Why did you and your family choose SCVi?
So what prompted the move was I had just finished elementary school with 6th grade, and my mom had moved, and she had done both of my older siblings in traditional schooling, and she wanted to find something a little bit different. I was having some problems with math in traditional schooling and having a hard time finding some answers and whatnot. And so she found SCVi and she fell in love with it. And so I had gone into the lottery to try to join SCVi. And I actually tried for the first year, but I didn't quite get in until the second year. And so that was what kind of triggered that transition.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes at charter schools. What Paige is referring to, at charter schools, we don't draw just our neighborhood kids, although they are certainly welcome to attend. Charter schools can draw from pretty much anywhere across the state. As long as you can get your kid to school, you can enroll them. And as oftentimes happens, what happened at SCVi is that we had more kids enrolling or applying at our school than we had spaces, and so then of course it goes into a lottery, and names are selected by lottery. It's not a first come first serve. Names go into kind of a great big barrel. It's a fun, exciting day, lottery day at SCVi. And so yeah, Paige went in the lottery and your name was selected for that second year. You joined us year 2 and went all the way through, and actually was you were a member of our second graduating class. And when you were there at SCVi, so you spent, 6 years?
Yep.
While you were there, you were quite the leader on campus. As a matter of fact, you helped found the SCVi Ambassadors Program. Can you tell us a little bit about that program, why it was founded, and maybe how it's a little bit different? It's not exactly like an ASB program, but it is a program that helps identify and cultivate leaders. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it was like to found the Ambassadors Program?
Absolutely. So I think one of the amazing things about SCVi, and I think one thing I incredibly appreciated about the time that I had spent there, was because we were such a new school, because we were still figuring things out and we were creating these programs, I had the opportunity to look into it. And like you said, it's very similar to an ASB in the fact that it's a student-run type of government where we had the opportunity to get involved, to try out our planning and organization skills, and to see what were the areas of growth that we wanted to see, but it was also more about the community. So I think one of the things that was very pivotal for the Ambassadors Program was how are we as a charter school, as a student body, as a community, engaging with the communities around us. As we explained a little bit with the lottery system, not everyone who went to SCVi lived in the same neighborhood. We were a little bit spread out, which brought an amazing amount of diversity. It also brought a lot of background. So it was how are we working with the students that we have this opportunity to go to school with and to work in close contacts with at such a young age, but also how are we reaching out to the community? So we had the opportunity to go to COC fairs and to meet some of the other students and to go to river rallies and just go out into the community and plan events, as well as also planning events in the community and helping out the students at the school as well. So it was a more inclusive version of ASB, and the fact that we didn't really want to limit ourselves. We weren't just planning dances or things like that, but we were looking at what does the school need? Can we be a voice for the students who maybe don't have the time to join the ambassadors program, and what do we see that the students need, and how can we implement it? And then with us all being so young, I mean, we're high school students, middle school students, it's also learning what steps are necessary in leadership, what steps are necessary to achieve those goals, and getting to work with the facilitators to really cultivate the ideas that we were coming up with, and also learning the realities of, yeah, that sounded great, but sometimes you need to look at the logistics and see maybe I can't create that, but how can I make it work so it's both realistic and it fits with my ideology.
Yeah, you and your colleagues really did help cultivate a beautiful program there that allowed you guys to work very much hand in hand with school administration and facilitators as well as the rest of the learners there at SCVi, and it became a beautiful thing. In fact, it's expanded quite prolifically. The SCVi Ambassadors Program is still going strong, and did you know, Paige, that it is now spread across the country and is at all of our all of our iLead campuses. So that Ambassadors Program that you helped found has expanded throughout our network. Now, Paige, I understand that your leadership wasn't just limited to the ambassadors. You early on were a leader in your community. I've talked with our listeners in the past about the 10th grade personal project, and that's where each of our sophomores, every one of our sophomores on campus is required to develop this year-long project where they identify something that they are passionate about or something that means something to them, and then develop it through a long process throughout the year. When you were in 10th grade, you identified a problem in your community that you attacked. Can you tell us a little bit about your 10th grade personal project?
Absolutely. So this was a time where I lived when I was in 10th grade, there was a city transit bus that came down my street, and there was also speed bumps. And as much as amazing as transportation is and that ability, it came down a residential in between two larger streets. And it was a problem because of the timing. It was a problem because this was a residential with a lot of kids and also on a downward slope a lot of the time. So it kind of created a safety concern for some of the parents, my mother included. And it also was just very loud. There were speed bumps, and then they would hit the speed bumps and it would rattle your house. So I tried to take on if we could move the bus to one of the streets beside it and still have the same amount of stops, so that we weren't limiting the transportation for any of the community members, but that we were also not putting a bus on a street with a lot of children running around constantly, just to ease some of the concerns of the parents, as my mother being one of those. But that was a crazy project for me that year. Being quite young, I don't think I was a little naive about the process, and I was a little stubborn. And so at the end of the day, I was not able to complete it, but I did get to meet with the city members, and I got to talk to the planning and development people at the city, and I put together some presentations. I got to learn some of those skills and just kind of address the problem. I think since they've worked on it. But for that year, my concern was how can we make it so that people still have their transportation options, but we're also not looking at this possible concern for the community members on the street.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think it's a beautiful kind of lesson. You weren't able to accomplish it in that what was it, 6 to 8 month window of your personal project, but I think they did end up changing the bus routes to make something that wasn't quite so noisy and dangerous for your community. So congratulations on that. What an incredible lesson that, because at the time you mentioned you're in 10th grade, you're 15 years old, but here you're working with city government and working to make a change. That was one of the things that impressed me most when I first showed up at SCVi is, gosh, these kids think they're living in the real world now, and they can change things now, and they absolutely are. And Paige, you started early on making your mark on the world, and you continue to do so. When we come back from the break, I want to talk about what Paige is busy doing now and what she's accomplishing and where she's heading in the future, because man, if ever there was a bright future, it is Paige's future and her present as well. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're talking with Paige Guarino, SCVi graduate of the class of 2015. We will continue our conversation when we get back. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Moms, dads, this is Cardin Ellis, owner of Unipest. If your house has ants, spiders, or gophers, or you want a free orange oil termite inspection, you have to call Unipest Termite and Pest Control, Santa Clarita's only factory-certified orange oil pest control company. We specialize in organic, low-impact, and traditional pest control options that are all kid-friendly, pet-friendly, and affordable with no contracts, and we're SCV owned and operated. Call us at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
The coronavirus has put us in a position of creating a new normal. Family Law at Home understands. Their goal is to meet you in the safest place possible, and these days that might be in your own home in a virtual meeting. Family Law at Home will provide you with immediate advice on your family law matters, such as divorce cases, child custody disputes, and domestic violence. It's as easy as going to FamilyLawAtHome.com. You'll choose your own consultation date and be in immediate contact with one of their esteemed attorneys. Family Law at Home handles the legal aspect while you and your family navigate the new chapter in your lives. Go to FamilyLawAtHome.com.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVi, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLead's founding school, SCVi combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVi has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLeadSantaClarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
CBC Cleaning and Restoration is ready and waiting to clean and disinfect your home or business during these trying times. CBC is certified, OSHA trained, and insured for COVID-19. They are now offering 10% off services plus free disinfection application through June 30th. All staff wears full-on PPE and all equipment is disinfected before and after every job. Have CBC clean your carpets, upholstery, and hard surface flooring. Voted best commercial and residential cleaning company in the Santa Clarita Valley year after year. To take advantage of the COVID-19 special or more information, call CBC at 294-2221. That's 294-2221.
Yes, Dunkin' is open. The continued stay-at-home orders have been rough on all of us, but Dunkin' is trying to make things just a little bit better. There are many ways to get your Dunkin' fix. You can carry out at both locations, or you can drive through at Canyon Country, or get curbside service at the Bouquet Canyon Dunkin'. Both offer Grubhub and Postmates delivery and are open till 6 p.m. Don't forget, use your Dunkin' app for on the go to order, pay, and accumulate points. Dunkin' cares about the SCV.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. We are also on Facebook Live. If you prefer the Facebook, then the Facebook. Is he really that old? Yes, he is, Shane. If you prefer listening and tuning in on Facebook, you can head on over to the KHTS radio Paige, and you find the salmon-colored banner there. There you will see me here in the studio, and if you're wondering why this fool is wearing a mask while he's in a studio by himself, it's because he's not by himself. Just off camera is my engineer, Shane. People always ask, what are you doing wearing that mask? Well, I want to make sure that I keep myself and my engineer, Shane, safe. So we are here about 7-8 feet apart, both of us wearing our masks, staying safe. We are talking this morning with SCVi alum Paige Guarino. Paige is a graduate of the class of 2015. That would be our second graduating class at SCVi. And we talked about her amazing leadership in high school, well, in junior high and high school. And now she's moved on, and you're thinking, okay, it's been 5 years since she graduated high school. Has she graduated college yet? Boy, wait until we get caught up. Paige, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. We do appreciate it. Paige, when you graduated at SCVi, you went on to, I believe, Washington College there in Maryland, right? What did you study there?
Yeah, so I studied political science with a minor in religion.
Oh, cool. Political science with a minor in religion. What a great kind of marriage as you head into what, and I won't spoil it for my listeners, but the career that you're heading towards right now. So when you were at Washington, what were some of the highlights there?
So that was definitely an incredible experience, whereas all undergrad is an incredible experience. You're learning new things, hopefully expanding your mind and your belief systems a little bit. I would say that some of the best things are always going to be the people, the professors. I had some amazing professors that I've had the opportunity to stay in contact with, as well as some amazing opportunities, including the opportunity to study abroad and the opportunity to work abroad. And so I think all of those things coming together just to help me learn as an individual and to further my growth and professional career were things that I will always cherish.
That is amazing. You mentioned that you studied and you worked abroad while you were at Washington. Where did you go?
So in my first summer after attending Washington College, I had the opportunity to study government and religion in Italy with one of my professors, and that was incredible. If there's ever a place to study religion, it is Italy. We were in Rome, and we got to go to the Colosseum, and we got to just see all of the historical relevance that was there. We did a large focus on Judaism, which was absolutely so interesting. Just as a little explanation, one of the reasons that I chose to minor in religion with my political science was that historically, most of what happens in political science in our histories has to do with religion. So I figured the best way to understand the political climate is to understand its history, and a lot of that history is rooted in religion. So it's best trying to just get a broader picture is kind of why I chose those studies. And then when I was my final year, I had the opportunity to work in the Philippines for a small period of time, which was absolutely phenomenal to meet the people who are just so amazing, most hospitable people I've ever met in my life, and get to work there. I worked at the intersection of religion and politics. We used the religious communities as a way to see what was going on with the country and to gauge what was how the citizens were being affected by the war on drugs and martial law in Mindanao. So when I had gone was right after martial law was declared in Mindanao, and so it was an absolutely riveting, educational, and just heartfelt experience with all of the tragic events that were happening in that country.
Yeah, what an amazing experience for you, and incredible that you were able to fit all of that experience into what was an abbreviated time, wasn't it? You graduated in just 3 years. We're talking about your undergraduate studies in past tense. You graduated Washington in just 3 years. How did you manage that, and why was that so important to you, Paige?
So one of the reasons that was so important to me was because I am so excited about moving forward, and just to burst the bubble, I am now in law school, so I was excited about my next educational career, but I had that opportunity because when I was in high school, I did the International Baccalaureate degree, which was offered at SCVi, as well as I took some courses at COC while I was in high school, so I had that those credits behind me already. I was able to go into my higher education with a lot of the general education kind of already finished, so that I could really focus on the areas that I found were intriguing. So those 3 years were just packed full of what I wanted to study and the passions that I had. And so it was an amazing experience to be able to continue moving forward and to continue growing.
Yeah, what Paige is referring to is kind of the combination of two different things that we offer at SCVi, the International Baccalaureate Program, which, similar to AP, will give learners college credit toward their studies. It's quite a bit different from AP, but I don't want to go into that. She was also concurrently enrolled at COC, so was able to get quite a bit of that undergraduate studies out of the way before she even graduated high school. Amazing. So now you're in law school. You're going to Pace University there in New York. How's that going, Paige?
It's amazing. It's always a joke when you say that you're going to law school, because you will never imagine the amount of work it is. And it's not just the work, it's the way of thinking. We spend your first year is quote unquote thinking like a lawyer, is learning how to analyze situations in a way that it's a little different, because you don't naturally think that way until after your first year. So it's been an amazing experience because the professors are amazing. I absolutely love my school, and I love being able to dive into these concepts of law. Personally, I want to do corporate commercial law, and so I've been going into the contracts, the business transactions, and looking into that kind of thing. But before you do any of that, you have to take all your bar courses. So everyone has this basis level of understanding, and it's also, you start your internships at actual law firms and whatnot. So it's very interesting to move into, and it's something that I love. I have a passion for it. I don't think you can do law and complete law school if you don't enjoy what you're doing, because it's definitely a lot. But I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it was Bill Gates that mentioned it several years ago that, you've got to be crazy to get into something like this, because otherwise it's just so much work. You would, any sane person would give up before they got too far. So how much longer do you have, and then what are you planning for after graduation? What are your plans as you move forward, Paige?
So I have 1 year left. I actually just finished finals for my second year last week, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
But thank you so much. I have 1 year left, and then I have the bar and finding a job and all that fun, exciting, real-life stuff that I can't wait to take on. So that's basically where I am right now.
And then long-term goals as you go into a career, do you know kind of how you want to cultivate that career, and anything kind of outside of your career that you want to tackle as far as long-term goals go?
Absolutely. So I do plan on staying here in New York. I want to practice here in New York for a few reasons. One of those being a lot of the firms and the type of corporate and commercial law that they practice here, as well as I have developed a very big interest in alternative dispute resolution. And so those are your arbitration and mediation, those type of fields. And so I would love to work into those. I think right now I'm trying to keep my options open. I know for the first 6 months or 5 months or so after I graduate, I'll just be studying for the bar and taking the bar. And so it's going to be what jobs are available at that time, especially with everything in world events right now, world affairs, with COVID. Who knows what jobs are going to be looking for and really what's going to be available at that time.
Yeah, you mentioned you're living in New York, and New York, it's been chronicled, has been one of the hardest hit areas in the country as far as this pandemic's concerned. What's it been like living there, Paige? How are things going?
It has been a very interesting experience. When you think of New York, at least I think of the liveliness. There's always so much going on. There's so many people here. And once this started, seeing Times Square empty, I think, was just an absolute shock to me.
Oh, wow.
As I'm sure a lot of the other residents felt. I personally do not live in the city. I live in Westchester County, which is a little bit off from the city, but we had a pretty bad start with COVID-19. So we have been isolated from the beginning. We are the area where the National Guard had come in at the beginning, I believe at the end of February. So it's been interesting. I can't say I've been outside that many times, but when you do go outside, I think there's been a lot of fear and a lot of precautions taken. It's exciting to see as we move forward, people becoming more comfortable in this incredibly difficult and stressful time.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting times, and we're going to need strong leadership to lead us out of this time and into whatever's coming next. Paige, I got to tell you, I'm so glad that you are there. You are certainly taking that baton for your generation and raising up an incredible generation of leaders. Paige, we really appreciate your time. It's great to get caught up with you. Do me a favor, stay safe and be well, okay?
Thank you so much. You guys as well. Have an excellent rest of your guys' day.
Absolutely. Take care, Paige. We're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got licensed marriage and family therapist Kristina de Bree joining us. She's joining us a little bit earlier than normal today, but we're excited to have her. And for more information on COVID-19, how it's affecting our valley and this coast, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. There you'll find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much more. That's hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
It's allergy season again. You've tried it all, yet your sinuses continue to be a problem. Try something different, something holistic, something that will really work. Acupuncture. Kathleen Keneally is Santa Clarita's acupuncture and innate specialist. She's been treating many of your neighbors and their children for allergies, sinuses, headaches, and pain. Find out how acupuncture can improve the quality of your life. Call Catherine Keneally for a free phone consultation. 252-4100. 252-4100. Acupuncture. It really works.
Power Automotive is open for you during these challenging times. They've taken extra precautions to keep their employees and customers safe. What makes Power Automotive different? They offer a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on all their repair services, all makes and models, autos, trucks, diesels, and even RVs. Mention KHTS and get 20% off parts. Power Automotive, on Soledad between Whites Canyon and Sierra Highway, behind Denny's. Power Automotive will show you why they've been voted Santa Clarita's #1 repair shop for the last 18 years.
Chiquita Canyon Landfill takes the waste from our homes and local businesses and puts it to good use. With cutting-edge clean energy technology, Chiquita Canyon powers 10,000 homes each year by harnessing the methane gas from the landfill. So, the next time you wheel your trash can to the curb, feel good that your waste is on its way to making green energy at Chiquita Canyon.
Chiquita Canyon Landfill, our partner in sustainable living.
I'm Matt Denny, CPA, with Denny & Company, LLP, your hometown CPAs. Here are some tips to help you with anxiety you may have about your income tax returns for 2019. The deadlines for filing both state and federal returns have been extended to July 15. Both the state and the feds are also extending the time for making 2019 tax payments otherwise due, without interest or penalty, to July 15. These details keep changing, so contact us at 661-286-8860 or see our website at dennyllp.com.
Santa Clarita Lanes is more than just a bowling center. It's fun, food, and parties for the entire family. In addition to their popular leagues that run every day of the week, Santa Clarita Lanes offers rooms for kids' birthday parties and game rooms. And if you love the NFL, Vincenzo's Pizza is the place to be on Sundays with the complete NFL football package, showing every game on its 10 televisions and widescreens. Whether it's bowling, birthdays, or the NFL, Santa Clarita Lanes offers the best in family entertainment.
I'm Kristina de Bree, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist. The coronavirus and the new stay-at-home orders have changed our lives significantly. On behalf of KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, hometownstation.com, here's a tip to help your children increase good behavior. While it's natural to bring attention to poor behavior, it's important to highlight good behavior. For example, you're doing a really good job of working on your schoolwork. I'm very proud of you. Positively reinforcing good behavior verbally can lead to an increase in that specific behavior. Stay safe, stay at home, and let's flatten the curve. I'm Kristina de Bree, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. And for our Facebook viewers, hello. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. Right now, we are joined a little bit early by Kristina de Bree, a licensed marriage and family therapist who's got an incredible story of her own. It's a story of resilience and determination, trauma and overcoming, and then she took that trauma that she's experienced, well, pretty much every day of her life, and turned that into a way of supporting others. Like I said, she's a licensed marriage and family therapist. She's a graduate of Cal State Northridge and Pepperdine University with her practice right here in Valencia. She's studied extensively things like trauma and phobias and attachment disorder, suicide prevention, grief, abuse, adolescent interventions, all different kinds of things. And she is there for pretty much everything that you need. This May and every May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Kristina is here to keep us healthy, to keep us whole, to keep us moving forward. Kristina, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. As I mentioned, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It blows my mind to think that we are already over halfway through May. Man, we are on the downslope of May. Time is moving quickly. You remember how slowly March and April moved on? Well, we're just flying through May, making up the time. Now, Kristina, we talked in previous weeks about depression. We talked last week about anxiety, but trauma is really one of your big specialties. I know you've got a couple of them, but trauma is really something that you are excellent at. Can you talk to us about trauma, what trauma is, how does it affect us? Because we're all kind of going through it right now, aren't we?
Absolutely. So we all have a way to process information when information, encounters us, or when we encounter information. And that goes through our sort of system of information processing, and it gets categorized into normal narrative memory. So what happens is that when information comes in that's distressing information, that's too big, that's too stressful, too soon, too much, we don't know what to do with that information. It doesn't go through, it attempts to go through the information processing system, but it gets thrown out. And so what happens is then that goes and it kind of sits in our living room, and it goes back in the queue to be processed. And what happens is it continues to be the brain attempts to process that information over and over and over again, because it's trying to get that information done and categorized and organized. And so what happens is that as that information is attempting to go over and over again through the information processing system, is that's when we can have the symptoms of trauma. So that's why when we have acute stress disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder, it is because we are reliving the past because it was never processed correctly. So when we process something correctly, it gets stored as normal narrative memory. Normal narrative memory is a matter of fact. For example, I live in Santa Clarita. The sky is blue. I ate a piece of toast. These are just facts. Now, when we have things that are improperly stored, it brings up the sensory data. For example, the sights, sounds, physical sensations, taste, smell, the negative beliefs, I'm not safe, I'm not in control, I can't trust myself, I can't trust others, I'm powerless, the emotional experience, anxiety, stress, panic, fear, and then where we feel that in our body. And all of those components are what makes up memory. So they essentially get stuck and replay over and over again. And then we can have triggers. So for example, if you were assaulted and your assaulter was wearing a type of cologne, and then you walk into Macy's and smell that cologne, all of a sudden your brain connects those two similar pieces. Oh, this cologne here reminds me of the cologne for this, and it brings up that memory. So memory is important because it helps us understand how to move through the world. So when it's normal narrative memory, it's, oh, this is the cologne that this person had on. But when it's unprocessed, the entire memory comes up, and with all the original sensations, negative beliefs, emotions, and physical experiences, and then we're reliving it.
Yeah, that's so interesting. You know, you mentioned smell. That can be so powerful. Kristina, it's something that I've always found interesting, and it makes sense to my logical brain. I think it makes sense to everyone's logical brain that we all process information differently. We all process trauma differently. But then, for whatever reason, oftentimes we can kind of project our own reaction onto other people, right? So when you and I, let's say you and I go through something together, maybe we're in a car accident together, or maybe we're in the same business when it's robbed or something like that. We go through the exact same experience, but you and I can respond to that trauma. You and I can have totally different reactions to that trauma. Do we know why that is, and what we can do about that?
So we all have different life experiences. We all have information that we've encountered through our lives that has been processed and stored as memory differently than one another. So even if we were both clones of one another, we still would have differences in our lives. So for example, if you're a person who has had constant trauma and constant things that have been difficult to process, then you're going to have a lot of information that's just sitting in the queue. Yeah. And that starts to change the personality. It starts to change your central nervous system. It starts to change your worldview. It really impacts everything. So if you're someone who doesn't have any information sitting in the queue or very little information sitting in the queue, then it's going to be easier for you to process. Or if you have difficulty processing it, it's going to be really easy to get past it through a handful of therapy sessions or other techniques. And if you're someone that has lots of information, then you're going to really struggle. So this is when we see that not only do you have a trauma or trauma-related disorder, but then you have secondary diagnoses. You can even see addiction start to develop. So, you know, this is a person who has PTSD, but then also, so we call it complex PTSD. Complex PTSD, severe depression, and then they're addicted to whatever it is. They might have an eating disorder. They might have a personality disorder. And so this becomes very complicated. So ultimately, what we do about it is we want to just understand how our information processing system works, just like how we understand how our bodies work, and we want to eat healthy and exercise regularly. There are ways for us to emotionally eat healthy and emotionally exercise regularly. And we can definitely talk about that throughout the rest of this week.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that, and perhaps we can even talk about how people can teach themselves to work through trauma and things like that. It's so interesting. So I guess what you're saying is even siblings that have the same upbringing, or we think the same upbringing and experience the same types of trauma, they experience those differently. So let's talk as the week goes on, Kristina, about how folks can help themselves and get help dealing with their trauma and trauma-related disorders. I want to remind our listeners, if you're struggling, I want you to please reach out, not just during the month of May. Your mental health care is so important. So if you're struggling with trauma or anxiety or depression or anything else at all, reach out to your healthcare provider and get the help that you deserve. And if you need, give Kristina a call. Her phone number is 661-513-4857. Again, 661-513-4857. We're going to go ahead and post her website here on our Facebook Live feed. It's KristinaDeBree.com. And just make sure that you're getting the help you need. Kristina, we thank you so much for your help. As always, we look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. It is time for us to check in with local and national news stories and the latest updates right now. Stick around when we come back. We've got an amazing member of our community who's looking to shift into Phase 2. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers with your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com. or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
At iLead Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLead Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLeadAguaDulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Dutton Plumbing, it's Eric.
It's Mother. Can you come over right away? It's urgent.
I'll be right there, Mom. Okay, I'm here. What's wrong?
It's been weeks since you had a haircut, so I want to give you a nice trim. Sit down.
Ooh, ow.
Gee, I can see myself in the back of your head, son.
Mom,
Oops.
What happened?
Never mind. It'll grow back. So, what's new at Dutton Plumbing, son?
Well, with so many people stuck at home, there's a lot of stuff getting stuck in their pipes. So, our $73 drain clearing is really keeping us busy.
Wait a minute. I bet the plumber's hair is getting shaggy, too. You tell them that Mom will cut their hair for just $73.
Isn't that a little high for a haircut, Mom?
Well, I'll toss in the manscaping for free.
Mom!
DuttonPlumbing.com. Mom's $73 drain clearing at DuttonPlumbing.com. Manscaping not included.
KHTS AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 10 o'clock. Time for national news on KHTS.
Encouraging news from the U.S. epicenter. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. New York's governor announcing a 6th region of the state can begin to reopen, still not anywhere near New York City.
The latest statewide daily death toll now stands at 139, and that is essentially where it stood about 2 months ago. Of the latest 139 people to lose their life, 33 of them died at a nursing home.
Fox's David Lee Miller. Right next door in New Jersey, the state with the second highest number of cases and deaths of coronavirus, a gym defies the governor's orders by reopening early today.
Every hour they wipe the entire gym down, everyone leaves, and a new group comes in. When you use equipment, you're required to spray it before and after with disinfectant. Only 20% capacity allowed inside. They're doing temperature checks outside before you come in. You can't take showers. There's no group exercise. So they're paying very close attention to saying we can social distance, we can be responsible.
Fox's Pete Hegseth. Gyms aren't included in New Jersey's initial phase of easing restrictions. A revealing search on a dead gunman's phone now that the encryption is broken in the Saudi pilot's attack on a Florida airbase last year.
The FBI says they have cell phone evidence that the Pensacola gunman who killed 3 people at the Naval Air Station in December had contact with Al-Qaeda-related persons at some point. Earlier this year, a recording purportedly made by Al-Qaeda's Arabian Peninsula group claimed responsibility for the attack.
Fox's Evan Brown. Taking questions from reporters about what the president calls Obamagate and the origins of the Russia probe, Attorney General Bill Barr says he does not expect the ongoing review by a former federal prosecutor to lead to a criminal investigation of the former president or former Vice President Joe Biden, though he again condemns law enforcement treatment of the 2016 Trump campaign. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-597-0315. That's 800-597-0315. 800-597-0315. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Texas is preparing for a pandemic first, a trial by teleconference.
With jury trials on hold throughout the U.S. because of the coronavirus, one judge in Collin County, Texas is doing things differently, allowing jurors to hear an insurance dispute via video conference in what officials believe will be the first virtual jury trial ever held in the country. Jurors will hear a condensed version of a case and deliver a non-binding verdict. Parties, then having seen how their case would fare before a jury in a full-blown trial, would later sit down for mediation and try to hash out a settlement. Jeff Monasso, Fox News.
The president, vice president, and first lady take part in a governor's video conference today on the coronavirus response. Ahead of that, President Trump is scheduled to hold a roundtable event with executives from the hard-hit restaurant industry.
Some Maryland restaurants are among those upset about continued restrictions.
Curbside and carry-out just isn't cutting it for restaurant owners in the city of Baltimore, where there's no timetable to reopen for dine-in customers.
Our leaders have decided that they're going to pick winners and losers among businesses. We can't play politics with this.
Sergio Vitale and other owners in Baltimore's Little Italy asking the city to close down streets to allow for outdoor, responsible dining.
Allowing us to put small tables, socially distanced, so that people can order curbside from our restaurants and then enjoy it at the table.
Gia Blatterman believes time is running out for many restaurant owners.
We need a life jacket thrown to us, and it can't be a month from now. It's got to be now.
Vitale says the restaurants would keep the tables clean and safely apart.
Fox's CJ Papa, a Wall Street rally fueled in part by possible progress on a vaccine. The Dow's been up over 800 points. The S&P also up over 3%. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
The Oasis treatment at the Ivy Day Spa begins with a gentle exfoliation, then rinsed away in warm showers. You're painted with a soothing aloe vera, shea butter, and coconut oil body mask. Then travel through the warm Hydro Cape chambers. The relaxation chamber completes your Oasis body moisturizing treatment with a pH balancing mist and a warm cup of tea. Feel refreshed, hydrated, and relaxed. Pamper yourself. The Ivy Day Spa, Town Center Drive.
I'm Matt Denny, CPA, with Denny & Company, LLP, your hometown CPAs. Here are some tips to help you with anxiety you may have about your income tax returns for 2019. The deadlines for filing both state and federal returns have been extended to July 15. Both the state and the feds are also extending the time for making 2019 tax payments otherwise due, without interest or penalty, to July 15. These details keep changing, so contact us at 661-286-8860 or see our website at dennyllp.com.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every dollar donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Town Cleaners on Soledad is offering free dry cleaning for all first responders and medical personnel. Free pickup and delivery is also available. Call Mo at 250-1542. 250-1542. Town Cleaners on Soledad. Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. Partly cloudy today. We'll see highs going up to the upper 60s, low 70s. Overnight lows in the 50s. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, including the latest on COVID-19 here in the Santa Clarita area, go to hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, your host. You are listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. Our Facebook listeners may have noticed that my next guest is joining us live in studio. It's good to have the company. Normally it's just Engineer Shane and I in here by ourselves. My next guest is Norb Moniz. He is founder and president of A Royal Suite Furnishings. Norb is a man of high value. He values high-quality products, products that are made here in America, great service to his customers, and he values his community and the obligation to give back. Norm, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
It's good to have you. So give us a little bit of background. Tell us a little bit about A Royal Sweet's story. You originated here in Santa Clarita, correct?
We did. We actually originated back in 1978 in Canyon Country.
Oh, wow.
Off of Sierra Highway. That was our first small store, and we expanded from there in 1980 and moved over to Saugus at that time.
Okay. So you guys have been around even longer than I have. And so now you guys are over on Center Point, I believe it is, right over there by the Walmart, the Sam's Club, and things like that. Before we get into what's going on now, because I know everybody's kind of wondering what's happening with our different local businesses, who's open, who's not. Tell us a little bit about the role that you and your store play in the community, because I know you like to get involved.
Well, we play a big role. We're extremely active in the city of Santa Clarita, and will continue to be active in the city of Santa Clarita. You know, we support a lot of different groups. We've always done that. A lot of the Carousel Ranch. We support the Santa Clarita Boys and Girls Club. We support all the high school athletic department, academic departments. We do a lot with the Optimist Club of Santa Clarita. So we're extremely active.
And that's important to the businesses, to the citizens of our community. This is well, gosh, you've been part of building it. If you've been in business since 1978, we're a close knit community, and we like to maintain that fabric well interwoven. So talk to us about what's going on now. Are you guys completely open for business? Are you one of those businesses that is now doing curbside, or are you still waiting to open your doors, Norb?
No, we're curbside pickup.
Okay.
And we're extremely active on curbside. It's been good for us to be able to get back in. We've brought back all of our employees.
Oh, great.
We originally started with 32, and of course we had to lay them off on March 19th, but we've now had all of them come back. Our second group of 12 returned today. So we're excited about that. Our curbside program is pretty efficient. We're still able to allow you to pick your fabrics and do what's necessary on your sofas and your love seats and most of your bedroom sets.
That's fantastic news. I know with kind of the slow reopening, a lot of businesses have had a hard time. You know, they've brought back 30% of their staff, 50% of the staff. It's wonderful to hear that you were able to bring everybody back and you've got everybody working now. Now, I know you're having kind of an interesting sale, and I say interesting. You're having a 56% off sale, and I mentioned while we were at the break, it seems like an odd number, although the math teacher in me wants to say, no, that's an even number, and there's an old joke there about the comedian having an argument with the guy at the roulette wheel over his definition of an odd number. 28, that's an odd number. But you don't see a lot of stores having a 56% off sale. Can you explain why the 56%? Is that some sort of margin that you're trying to hit?
No, to us it makes a lot of sense. I figure we're going to have a sale that we're never able to have again, and I hope we will never have again. We were closed for 56 days, so why not allow some positive into the community and allow the city and the community members to be able to get a 56% discount on their product? Very unusual. And we're doing it in a unique way because we're going to have a tent sale, and available at that tent sale is going to be 6% off, plus they're going to be able to do curbside pickup right at the point. So
that is fantastic. So 56%, that's 1% for every day that you were closed. That is kind of beautiful, and yeah, you mentioned that you hope never to do that, not because you don't want to offer great prices to your customers, but hopefully you'll never have to be closed for another 56 days like that. That had to have been tough on you, your family, your employees.
Well, what's unique in our 56% off is I support about 80% of our products American made. And I went, during those 56 days, I had spoke to my manufacturers, told of them our plan, And they have also come back to us and participated in discounting wholesale because they need the business as well. So we did a combined discount with off of wholesale, off of retail, so everybody can benefit.
That's great, because I was wondering how, if you're offering that much off, you can't be making too much money. But if your manufacturers are giving you a bit of a break, then it allows you to pass that down. That is fantastic. I did know that about you, that you focus on trying to have as much of your product made here in the United States as possible. Why is that so important to you?
Well, because I'm a true believer that supporting American-made companies supports our economy, it supports our people, and gets America back to work. When others were leaving, other furniture retailers were leaving to the Orient and trying to buy stuff in China, I decided to stay home and try to expand my line with my local manufacturers. I have manufacturers in Arizona, Oregon, North Carolina, Nevada. So it's a little more difficult because I had to seek these vendors out.
Sure.
But instead of having 100 vendors, we have 30 different vendors, and we just support them. And they're all open now. Our last 2 opened up today, so they are in production.
Great.
Of course, our out-of-state manufacturers opened up earlier. Our other manufacturers here locally in California and Los Angeles primarily opened up today.
Sure.
So we're excited about that.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the indicators that we're getting back to business is that I paid about 15 cents more on the gallon of gas on my way in than I did a couple weeks back, and got a text message from my optometrist that they're open for business. It's good to hear that your manufacturers are up and running and providing with folks like yourself with these quality American-made products. It's great that you support the American industry and that our community supports your business, but it's not just about supporting the American economy, because, as I understand, having things manufactured here in the States also provides a little bit more feasibility and serviceability for your products. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We're able to get our product manufactured in a timely manner. We also run our own trucks for transportation, so the merchandise gets transported to us quicker and faster because we're able to control a lot of those issues. But being able to custom do something locally and have it custom made, the nice thing is everything that we manufacture, our manufacturers build for us, is built and delivered within a week.
Wow. Wow, that's great. And then you've also got that consistency. If I've got my great sectional there and crazy Friday night, I get a glass of red wine spilled on the cushion, it's a lot easier to get replaced when it's produced here within the United States than if it was produced abroad, and you have no idea what's available, right?
100%. We can replace cushions, the fabric. We can get pretty much anything done, which is a really important feature. Not only that, the product's built better, it's stronger, it's solid wood, the frames are larger. All around, it's just a better experience for the customer.
Okay, fantastic. So you talked about your curbside tent sale coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How's that going to work? Is it going to be, because I've been to your location when you guys have the tents out in the parking lot. Is that the way it's going to work, or is it a little bit different now?
Yeah, that's pretty much. We've changed a few things now. For one thing, we're 100% plus protocol. We have gone beyond what we were required to do.
Okay.
We're going as far as our customers that don't have masks, we're supplying them with masks free of charge. If the health department wanted a protocol, I doubled it, and we're equipped for that. So our curbside pickup is going to be unique because we're going to transfer the merchandise that the customers have already purchased or what they've purchased on Facebook. We're going to be posting on Facebook merchandise that's available from that tent sale. They're going to be able to purchase it and come down and pick it up.
Okay. So I go on your website or I go on Facebook, choose the item that I want, choose the fabrics, the colors, things like that, and then just head on over to
That's right.
your storefront?
The best thing to do is to give us a call at 661-259-7000, and you'll talk to a sales associate, and he'll direct you to the manufacturer's website. We always like to use a lot of the manufacturer's websites because they'll have fabrics on there, they'll have styles and shapes, and you can build it the way you want to build it. Then you can just call us up. You can request the fabric. You can come down and look at the actual fabric that you've chose, and we'll have it built that way. We will also have our fabrics available at the curbside, so you're able to look at those as well.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, because for, I know people who love the functionality of a website where you can just click, click, click and build the furnishings that you want, and they can imagine how it's going to look in their living room. I'm not a guy that has that much vision. I want to be able to look at the item, or at least look at the fabric and the item, so people can still do that. They can come down and take a look at what the fabric actually looks like real time, right?
Correct, yeah. You'll be able to look at the fabrics curbside.
Okay.
And the fabrics are available from all the manufacturers. So if you go online and you find a frame that you like, a sofa, a love, a chair, an accent chair, a sectional, you're able to come down curbside and take a look at that fabric.
Okay, so I guess we're not recommending that folks kind of head on over to your location blind, not knowing what they want, thinking that they're going to wander around the showroom, because the showroom they're not going to be able to go into, but you're bringing stuff outside to them. Fortunately, this rain is going to pass here soon, but much better to be prepared. Go online, get an idea of what you want, and if you're still not 100% certain of the color or what that fabric feels like, you can come down and check it out that way.
You can, but it's always nice to come down as well, because you need to touch and feel what we have there. You want to see the quality of it. Sometimes you don't really get the true feeling of the quality of the merchandise when you're looking online. We'll have samples of every single vendor out there. Some will be sold curbside, some won't be sold, but you'll be able to take a look at those frames and touch and feel it, and then you can pick fabrics from there.
Okay, so you've got some of it already in stock and ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. We have lots in stock. We have a warehouse facility, and we have lots available. If you want instant gratification, you don't want something delivered the same day, you can. We have our delivery guys are following protocol as well. They're masked, they're gloves, they're cleaning the product before it goes into the home. We've gone one step in every category beyond the norm.
That is great. So making sure that that your customers feel secure and safe and healthy, making sure that you're taking care of your employees as well.
Absolutely. That's our number one, is to begin with our employees and then carry it through all the way through our organization.
That is beautiful. So important that that we keep meeting people's needs. Some folks kind of think, well, is furniture that essential right now? Well, we just got off the phone, and you were in here listening to our friend Kristina. She just moved about 2 weeks ago, and she moved from a smaller place to a much larger place, and boy, that place was empty if it weren't for the furniture that she was able to order and get put in there. So this is an important industry, and it's an important part of getting. I try to stay away from the phrase "getting back," because we're not going back. We're going forward. Things have shifted. They're going to be forever different. But you guys are kind of blazing that trail of reopening our economy and getting our city and our communities back online. So very, very important. Do me a favor. You mentioned your phone number. Can you share the phone number again?
Sure.
What's your website? Where
the
else
phone
can we find
number? The best thing to do is to get us on Facebook right now. Our phone number is 661-259-7000.
Okay. And so, but you said the best way is to get you on Facebook. Producer Sarah is telling me here that we've already posted the link to your Facebook page as well as your website. So want our listeners to click around there. If you're the type of person that enjoys spending an afternoon wandering around a showroom, why don't you click on their website and wander around that way. Click on Facebook and see what we've got there, what they've got there. Again, gosh, I can't imagine that it's ever been better than it is right now, with 56% off, 1% for each of the days that you guys had to stay closed.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, and you got to remember too, we carry some medical need items. We carry lift chairs. We've actually have probably been on 30 service calls for elderly people that need their lift chairs fixed. We have those available. They'll be curbside as well. We have adjustable beds for medical reasons. There's a lot of things that we had to keep operating. We kept our service department operating full time because of those medical needs. We also supplied free mattresses to a peer care center, that a birthing center. They expanded the birthing center. They needed mattresses. They called us, and within 3 hours we had 10 mattresses to their location. So we have been open in our facility trying to satisfy the needs that are necessary.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and until you're immersed in something, you don't really realize all the different needs out there. But you're right. Some of our seniors and people that need assistive care aren't always getting the level of care that they used to in the past, and so those type of furnishings and things like that can really facilitate a need that is, in some cases, almost life or death, isn't it?
Yeah, we forget about the elderly when it comes down to some of their needs. And our lift chairs and our service crew are trained to repair those and fix those, because that's their livelihood, is sitting in some of their lift chairs during the day and being able to get in and out. So we have to be there 24 hours a day.
Wow. You're doing great things, and I really appreciate that. You guys need to stay in business. You guys need to take care of your families, but you're also looking to take care of the community. You're looking to take care of your employees. We appreciate the level of care with which you're doing that. And then, gosh, again, I can't imagine it's ever going to be 56% off everything in your store.
It's there, and we're ready, and our curbside's open.
Great.
And we'll supply customers for whatever they need for curbside use.
So again, people can get on your website, get on your Facebook page, and pick up as early as today, have it delivered as early as today, or you've got that tent sale that's really going full bore starting this Friday, correct?
Absolutely, and watch our Facebook, because we're going to be posting a lot of different items that are going to be available. We're going to be posting pictures, and some are one of a kind, some we have plenty of stock on, but if you need some furniture to improve your lifestyle while you're stay at home, come down to Royal Suite at 56% off this weekend.
Absolutely. A lot of us are using our home furnishings more than ever, and I know my couch is getting a little bit worn out. It's sick of seeing my backside. Well, Norb, we appreciate you coming in today. We appreciate, like I said, everything that you're doing for the community. I know you and your team have got a lot of work to do, so I will let you go. But again, you guys take care, and best of luck to you as you continue forward. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be back with a couple of leaders from the COC Foundation. And for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, go to hometownstation.com. Click on that red banner. There you're going to find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
If you'd like to take your business up a notch, take a look at Elite Magazine.
Linda and Mo Hafizi, owners of our valley's two leading magazines, the Magazine of Santa Clarita and Elite.
I'm so proud of Elite. It allows your advertisement to stand out. We distribute Elite to 50,000 homes and businesses. You'll find us in 1,900 local hotel rooms.
Discover how Elite Magazine can help your business. Call 294-4444.
Superior quality is second nature to us. Just ask our advertisers.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
I'm Kristina de Bree, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist. The coronavirus and the new stay-at-home orders have changed our lives significantly. On behalf of KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, hometownstation.com, here's a tip to help you when your children are having anxiety that feels out of control. Decorate a shoebox and name it the Worry Box. Throughout the day, as worries come up, have your children write each worry on a Post-it and put it in the box to review later. If they continue to bring it up, say, "Thank you for reminding me. Let's keep it in the worry box and talk about this during our worry time." Schedule 15 to 30 minutes sometime during the day to sit with your child and the box and spend time being worried together and offering comfort. Stay safe, stay at home, and let's flatten the curve. I'm Kristina de Bree, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist.
Santa Clarita Valley residents now have greater access to the excellent physicians and high-quality medical services for which Providence Holy Cross is known. Providence Holy Cross Health Center in Santa Clarita features state-of-the-art cancer and imaging technologies, as well as board-certified physicians in a variety of medical specialties. Quality and compassion from a healthcare provider you can depend on. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us at providence.org.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVi, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLead's founding school, SCVi combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVi has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLeadSantaClarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Town Cleaners on Soledad is offering free dry cleaning for all first responders and medical personnel. Free pickup and delivery is also available. Call Mo at 250-1542. 250-1542. Town Cleaners on Soledad.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. You're listening to Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson. We're joined now by two gentlemen who play an instrumental role for the COC Foundation. I want to read to you a blurb from their website because it sums up their job perfectly. The College of the Canyons Foundation is an important component of the educational experience provided by College of the Canyons. We help fill gaps in state funding, provide financial resources to students and educators, and ensure that all those who seek higher education have the resources to do so. We do this in collaboration with our community partners and supporters to enrich the lives of students and the community we serve. You know, education is so expensive, and as a society, we don't cover what a high-quality public education costs. My next two guests are there to help meet the need that is left by that gap. James Kneblik has served as Director of Development for the College of the Canyons Foundation for the last 3 years. In his role, James helps people turn their passions into life-changing philanthropic support for College of the Canyons students. He works directly with foundation support groups such as the Patrons of the Arts and the Chancellor Circle Committee and the COC Alumni Network. James is also responsible for the annual fundraising efforts of the foundation, including events and various special fundraising projects, such as student scholarships and the Student Emergence Assistance Fund. Originally from St. Petersburg, Florida, James has been a resident of the Santa Clarita Valley for over a decade now. He attended St. Petersburg College and received his bachelor's degree in marketing from the University of South Florida. James is currently enrolled in the MBA program at the University of La Verne's regional campus, located right there at the College of the Canyons University Center. James and his wife of 10 years, Hannah, are together raising 2 wild toddler boys and a beautiful 6-month-old baby girl. And he's also joined by Brian Koegle, who is a partner in the Employment and Labor Law Department of Poole, Shaffery, and Koegle, LLP, with a focus on labor and employment law. Mr. Koegle provides counsel to employers across various industries regarding hiring practices, employment contracts, wage and hour issues, compensation, discipline, and termination matters. He represents employers in mediation, arbitration, litigation, and various administrative hearings, defending a wide range of employment discrimination and fair employment practice cases. He also assists employers in the design, drafting, modification, and implementation of personnel policies, procedures, and employee handbooks. and he conducts personnel policy audits. Mr. Koegle guides employers with respect to all aspects of wage and hour compliance, including overtime calculations, meal and rest period requirements, and statutory penalties arising from non-compliant policies and procedures. And I'm going to see if he can get KHTS to start serving me breakfast here in the morning. He also counsels employers on leaves of absence, including family and medical leaves, alcohol and drug rehabilitation leaves, and leaves involving pregnancy-related disabilities. He's a frequent writer and speaker on a variety of labor and employment-related matters. Mr. Koegle is a member of the labor and employment sections of the California State Bar and the Los Angeles County Bar Associations, and has been recognized by Super Lawyers Los Angeles magazine each year between 2010 and 2020, and 2010 through 2015 as a rising star, and then 2016 through 2020 as Super Lawyer. Pretty amazing. Gentlemen, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us, Matt. Did you tell everybody also that I'm a really fun guy also?
He is a kick in the pants. He's a great time. Absolutely. So,
and Matt, I have to get a plug in here. Hold on, because the reason that I was talked into doing your show is because my favorite time of the week is Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame every Friday.
Yeah.
Because he is just so entertaining. So I have a high bar to live up to today.
Absolutely you do, but don't talk to me about getting talked into doing my show. People are busting down my door, Brian. So, Brian, you started, so let's start off with you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your personal connection to the COC Foundation.
Sure. Well, obviously, College of the Canyons holds a very near and dear place in my heart. I am an alumnus. Right out of Saugus High School, I attended COC for a couple of years before I transferred to The Ohio State University in the beautiful town of Columbus, Ohio. But the educational foundation that I received while I was at COC truly was world-class. The education, the teachers, the opportunities and access that I had to learn some of the baseline information that I needed to get my degree in psychology and economics, and also some of the talents and skills that I developed at that point have helped me along the way in becoming a successful attorney. So it was really a no-brainer. When I came back to this community after passing and graduating law school, I wanted to give back to the community that had given so much to me, and College of the Canyons Foundation was one of the very first organizations that I started serving. I've been serving on the board since 2005, and about 3 years ago, I stepped up into a larger leadership role. I have been the board president for the last 2 years and have been very proud to lead the organization in some of the most interesting times I think that we've seen from a fundraising standpoint, from a college standpoint, from a community standpoint we could have ever asked for. So I've been very blessed to be able to step into a leadership role for such a great organization that does so much for our community.
You're absolutely right, and I know they're blessed to have you. You're right. Interesting times indeed. So, Brian, tell me, what's the mission of the College of the Canyons Foundation, and how does the board help support the College Foundation?
Well, so the College of the Canyons Foundation is really the fundraising arm. We're the nonprofit arm of the community college district, intended to help supplement the opportunities for our students so that we can see them succeed through the process of their education. While the state provides funding for the day-to-day activities and they allow for the education to be rendered, there are all kinds of other supplemental costs that students need to be able to cover in order to be successful in college. My favorite part of what's going on right now at the college is something that we've been working on over the last couple of years called the bank. The bank is our basic needs center. This is for individuals who need food or water or clothing, personal hygiene items. They're having difficulty because they're housing insecure or transportation insecure. And our bank gives us the opportunity to reach out to those students in the highest level of need to be able to provide them with the services or the products that they need so that they can take those anxieties and stresses off of their back and they can really focus on what's important, which is getting their education, getting through their certification or their transfer program or graduation so that they can get out, get a great job, and do exactly what I've been able to do, which is pay it forward and come back and help the college at a later time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, oftentimes, when we think about one sector of our community, we don't necessarily see the three-dimensional wraparound needs that are there. We don't always think about those students that are housing insecure or have some of those basic needs, yet are still pursuing a higher education. You talked about how COC supported you as a student, Brian. What memories do you have as a student, and how did COC help you eventually transfer to Ohio State?
Well, the wonderful thing about College of the Canyons is that you have access. You have access to your teachers or your professors. You have access to counselors. You have access to professionals in financial aid who can walk you through the process on a one-on-one basis. The number of professionals and administrators at COC really do make it all the easier for the students to recognize and see what their path to success looks like. The other nice part about it is the fact that because it is a community campus, we have a lot of opportunities to live, work, and learn in our backyard here. The fact that the University Center has now been around for 10 years, there are people who are able to graduate from high school and go all the way through and receive advanced degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, without ever having to leave the four corners of this valley. Because of remote learning opportunities, because of cooperation and collaboration that we have with the CSU system, with University of Laverne, as James will be able to tell you in his own personal experience, we have given an opportunity for students to be able to live, work, and learn in this community in a balanced format with as many resources as are available at any of the world-class universities in the United States.
Absolutely, so amazingly innovative, and you mentioned it. James is working on his MBA right now on campus there at COC through their collaboration with the University of Laverne. James, I know a lot of events happen right around this time. Springtime is fundraising time here in the Santa Clarita Valley, and it's been a struggle for a lot of organizations, including the COC Foundation. In fact, one of the first events that was canceled in our community due to the COVID outbreak was one that we at iLead were really looking forward to, the Silver Spur dinner honoring our good friend Bruce Fortine. So how are you staying connected with your board and other supporters right now?
I mean, that's a great point. Thank you. You know, we were very saddened to have to postpone the Silver Spur event. It takes a full year. Brian knows as well, as being a chair of many years of the Silver Spur event in the past. We planned for months to host an annual event. This year it's going to be in our valley at the Santa Cruz Studios. Mike DeLorenzo over there, the owner, was very generous to host us. And just one day before, due to the pandemic, we made the very important but difficult call to postpone that event. And of course, Mr. Bruce Fortine, there's no one more deserving, original Board of Trustee member in our valley, receiving that honor now after his retirement. The good news is that we plan to do that. We're looking at spring of 2021 to be able to do that, and Mike over the studios has graciously offered to still work with us. And of course, we don't have a crystal ball, but as the next months it will unfold. But we look forward to getting back to that. But to your point, you know, there's a lot of events that happen, whether it be at the University Center, whether it be meetings, business meetings and conferences, the Culinary Institute, hundreds of student activities that happen on a weekly and monthly basis, not to mention many of our fundraising activities from the foundation. And so it has been, like you mentioned, a chance to pivot, and like many of our nonprofits are in this community, we are trying to do our best to stay connected with our supporters. Our supporters stay connected to our students. You know, one of the things that I'm really proud about right now is that normally this time of year we would be having a donor scholarship, a student reception, a chance for donors to meet the students that they've impacted through a chance of a scholarship. And one of the things that we're doing right now in the foundation is trying to connect some of those donors directly to the students through a simple Zoom meeting or a video thank you. You know, nothing can really replace that personal connection, but we're doing our best to be able to connect those individuals. And there's a lot of gratitude right now that students are having a hard time navigating this remote learning world. And when they got that notification that they got a scholarship in the mail and it's coming this fall for them, I've been so impressed by the students' interest and commitment to be able to thank their donors. So we've been doing a lot of that, a lot of Zoom meetings with our Patrons of the Arts members, staying connected, our Chancellor Circle members. Every Friday morning, we are having Chancellor Circle virtual business briefings about issues surrounding COVID-19. And if you'd like to know more about that, I can tell you a little bit about in the future. But those are some of the things that we're doing to stay engaged while we can't get together physically on campus.
Yeah, it is so important. You mentioned none of us have a crystal ball. I remember how touch and go it was with your Silver Spur event, how it seemed like one day everything was a go. The next day it was, wait a minute, we're going to modify the event, but we can still do this. To the following day, nobody would conceive of putting 500 people in a room together. So strange, and I just have such tremendous compassion on the organizers of that event and everybody in the foundation there of how quickly you guys had to shift and pivot. You mentioned the need to keep your donors and your supporters connected to the students. There is so much need constantly in your students as they're trying to move ahead in their education. But now more than ever, where a lot of those students rely on whether it's part-time or full-time work to help get themselves through college, that may have been limited by this pandemic, and now they're not able to work as much as they used to. Can you talk a little bit more about the need and how your students are feeling it right now?
Yeah, of course. Brian brought up a great resource on campus called the Basic Needs Center. And, there is always a need on campus. At any given time, there are hundreds of students that have identified themselves as homeless, that are still enrolled in classes, completing a degree or certification, and bettering their lives. That's the real work of College of the Canyons and the impact that the foundation is proud to have in supporting students like that. Brian's absolutely right that the work of the bank, what we call the bank, BANC, is doing to support students, that student population. Some of those people right now, twice a week, is serving a free lunch to students like that, served by our culinary staff. And this is something that's not widely promoted. We're not putting out there, they come show up for free lunch. We're in fact reaching out to the student population that we know is in the greatest need. And we're serving over 100 lunches on 2 days a week. That's a small example, but that's one example of how that bank, the Basic Needs Center effort is continuing, even though we're not, we don't have brick and mortar services being offered in the traditional sense. What we've done right after COVID-19 is launch our Emergency Student Assistance Fund. And this is that next step. If you want to support a student in need and to be able to support them through loss of employment, impacted child care, medical expenses, just basic things in order for them that when they're facing the decision of dropping out of class or paying that electric bill, we can step in and help them. And that's a new initiative that we started just this back in March. And of course, I'm proud to be able to talk about it, but I'm just the representative. There have been hundreds, dozens and dozens and hundreds of individuals that have stepped up and supported that effort in one way or another. So that information can be found on our website at COCfoundation.com. But absolutely, students are being impacted. It's a big adjustment right now, and we're trying to meet their needs in every way possible.
And we want to share with our listeners ways that they can get involved. We'll do that right after the break. We're talking today with Brian Koegle and James Kneblik from the COC Foundation. Please stay tuned. We'll continue that conversation when we come back. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Who says nothing good happens after midnight? Denny's is best known for their breakfast served round the clock, like the Grand Slam. But you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner in a casual atmosphere 24/7. At Denny's, the lunch and dinner menu has a variety of appetizers, craveable burgers, salads, and entrees, along with the best desserts in town. Wherever you live in Santa Clarita, there's a Denny's close by. If you're pulling an all-nighter or don't feel like cooking, get into Denny's today. Good stuff is happening at Denny's.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
This is Suzette Martinez Valadares. Many child care centers are closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The child care providers that are open are serving our essential workforce and finding it very difficult to find or purchase the supplies needed to keep their facilities clean and children healthy. Our healthcare professionals are fighting to save lives. First responders and law enforcement are bravely serving our community, and our grocery store clerks are keeping our local markets stocked. This is our chance to help them. This is why we are launching Operation Childcare. Our mission is to collect donations for local early childhood education providers serving our frontline essential workforce. Donations needed include hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, disinfectant spray, disposable gloves, and masks. These donations can be dropped off at KHTS Radio, located at 24320 Main Street in Newhall, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday.
The coronavirus has put us in a position of creating a new normal. Family Law at Home understands. Their goal is to meet you in the safest place possible, and these days that might be in your own home in a virtual meeting. Family Law at Home will provide you with immediate advice on your family law matters, such as divorce cases, child custody disputes, and domestic violence. It's as easy as going to FamilyLawAtHome.com. You'll choose your own consultation date and be in immediate contact with one of their esteemed attorneys. Family Law at Home handles the legal aspect while you and your family navigate the new chapter in your lives. Go to FamilyLawAtHome.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm joined this morning by Brian Koegle and James Kneblik from the COC Foundation. Gentlemen, again, thanks so much for joining us, and more importantly, thanks so much for everything that you're doing for all of the students at COC, making sure that every single one of their needs gets met. So we talked before the break about how important it is to make sure that students have access to everything that they need. Oftentimes, they're not even getting those basic needs met, but they recognize that a higher education really is the way to transform their life for generations to come. So what are some of the ways that people choose to get involved and give back to the College of the Canyons Foundation? Our listeners that are tuning in might be thinking, gosh, that's really something I want to get behind. How can they get connected? How can they get involved?
Absolutely. So, Matt, there are so many different ways that we can have folks get involved. Obviously, if you are just interested in making donations, the COC Foundation has its own website that James mentioned before the break, cocfoundation.com. You can go on there and make donations. You can sign up to assist students and provide for any of their needs. But I'll tell you, when we go back to that basic needs center that we were talking about earlier before the break, we not only do we take cash donations, but gift cards, in-kind supplies, anything that you have that you believe that students may need in order to be successful, the COC Foundation is able to accept, and we're going to make sure that it gets into the hands of the right people. Obviously, a lot of the nonprofit fundraising events like Silver Spur, like our Chancellor Circle events that we host for, where we do help raise money, are not taking place right now. Mm-hmm. But we do have other opportunities, like I said, through the COC Foundation website and supporting our bank at this point. We also have scholarship donations that are available. There are many people who have actually endowed a scholarship year over year. They want to make sure that someone within their particular strength or area, such as nursing or welding technologies, will have an opportunity to go to school without the costs associated with that startup program. The other great part about where we're going as a foundation is we're looking at multiple different opportunities to provide mini grants to our professors and to the administrative staff, those people who are thinking outside the box of what normal education looks like and how we adapt for the future. And the foundation will actually provide $1,000 mini grants to those professors so that they can get their programs up off the ground. They can buy a piece of software. They can integrate an educational opportunity for students that they otherwise wouldn't have. So if you'd like to learn more about the mini grants and how you might be able to help in that respect, that is also available on our website.
And that is so important. As someone who spent 18 years in the classroom, I I can't tell you how important that is, just that open door, that leg up to get something that you know is going to help your students online. Now, I've noticed also the Chancellor Circle is very active in the business community. Can you guys tell me a little bit about the Chancellor Circle? What is it, and how do we help? How do supporters provide to the College Foundation through the Chancellor Circle?
Thanks, Matt. This is James. I'll take that one. The Chancellor Circle has existed for almost the entire history of the foundation over the last 33 years, and in that history, they've supported every major initiative of the foundation, but more importantly, they support innovation. Those things are just getting off the ground. Brian mentioned the mini grants. Those mini grants to faculty are funded 100% by Chancellor Circle membership dollars. So out of the 50-plus members that we have right now, and those are members of the business community, some retirees of the college and other individuals as well, but mostly business professionals that are kind of standing together and saying, hey, we want to help fund innovation. You know, we want to stand in that gap, and we want to help students find a way to succeed and to cut through a lot of those challenges and bureaucracy that we often face. Of course, we in turn want to support that community of business professionals. And one of the ways we do that is through what normally would be a quarterly business briefing. And we've turned that recently into a weekly webinar-style Zoom meeting around businesses facing challenges in the COVID-19 climate that we're in. This coming Friday, all are welcome. It's not just for our Chancellor Circle members. We'd love for you to join us at 9 a.m. On a Zoom meeting. The information can be found on our website. But it's going to be all about staying healthy in the new workplace. And we're going to hear from a UCLA health physician as well as our licensed Director of Student Health and Wellness, Larry Shallard. So that's just one of the ways that we're keeping our Chancellor Circle connected.
And Matt, James is being a little bit he is being calm on this, but the information that's being provided by Chancellor Circle right now is absolutely essential for all business owners in this community to be able to understand what it takes. Chancellor Circle was at the tip of the spear when we started talking about what the shutdown looked like, and they're once again at the tip of the spear, making sure that businesses have the skills, the understanding, the training as we begin to reopen. You know, the fascinating part about how Chancellor Circle works is it's a great foray. It's a great first step into involvement with the college. Just recently, we had invited our good friend Steve Ulios from Jersey Mike's to come in and listen in on some of these presentations. And Steve and his business partners have now become our newest Chancellor Circle sponsors, where he's actually helping fund the next wave of Chancellor Circle events that are going to help not just the students of College of the Canyons, but it's helping the business community as well.
Brian, that is fantastic, and if folks want to tune in, they can check that out, get information on your website, I'm assuming, for this Friday at 9 a.m. Gentlemen, that is all the time that we have for today, but I want to remind our listeners that we've posted all that information on our Facebook feed, the link to the foundation website. I want to thank you for calling in today, and I want to thank the rest of our guests, Paige Guarino, Kristina de Bree, again, Brian Koegle, James Kneblik from the COC Foundation for joining us. I want to thank you for joining us as well and encourage you to tune in every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Tomorrow we've got the mayor. Send me your questions now. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS.